Hello, hello everyone. How are you today? Thank you for joining.
Yeah, Chinaza, thank you. Bella, thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good
Good evening,
evening.
depending on where you are joining us from.
Yes. Okay, please touch the button small and then let us know if you can see us and if you can hear us. Touch the button small. Sorry, just my. Okay. Invite your friends. The more the merrier. The more the merrier. Comfort, comfort. Good to see you. How was your day? Hello, Innocent. Thank you, thank
Thank you
you,
for
thank you for
joining.
joining. I think we shouldn't take so long. Yes, Comfort says
Yes.
it's okay. So, Comfort, give us a 7, and then we can just start. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Comfort. Thank you, Chinaza. Thank you, Innocent. So today we'll be talking about lifelong learning. Remember, today is Leadership Day. Okay, so under leadership, we'll be talking about lifelong learning. So, for leaders, learning is a continuous process. It never ends. You must keep learning. You have to be abreast of what is happening at every point in time. Okay? So basically, as a leader, you're supposed to have a growth mindset. Okay. Remember that we've talked about all the types of mindsets on this page when we're talking about wealth creation. Okay. So we spoke about all the different kinds of mindsets. So growth mindset is one of the mindsets. And growth mindset is that belief in your abilities, in your capabilities, in the fact that you have capacity, in the fact that your intelligence is not limited. Okay? You believe in growth, in the fact that you can work hard, you can be diligent, and you can grow. So, once you have the growth mindset, everything about you becomes limitless. Because you know that the stage you are in life right now is not where it ends. You know that you can be anything you want to be. You know that you can achieve anything you want to achieve. So when you're thinking like that, you have a growth mindset. Remember, I told about how my mom started a school at 70 years. It can only take somebody with a growth mindset to do that. I mean, at 70, so many people will be like, we've lived our lives, you know. But at 70, she was still looking for what to do. She still wanted to conquer frontiers, you know. She wanted to discover new territories, new insights, and so on and so forth. She had been a teacher for years, teaching different things from one school to another. But she didn't feel accomplished because she didn't own her own school. And at 70, she said, why not? And she did it. And then she was with us for another 13 years after she started that school. before she went to be with the Lord. So think about it today. How old are you? If a 70-year-old could start a school, and you're probably in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, what is holding you? You know, there are so many examples. The man that started Kentucky Fried Chicken, apart from his age, he had tried over and over and over. He didn't give up. He kept trying. Think about the man that manufactured the light bulb.
Yes.
And so on and so forth. If we could have a conversation with Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, then he can probably give us the behind the scenes story before he got to where he got to and Facebook was developed. And today we're enjoying it, because if it's not Facebook, we'll not be having this conversation. So what is it that you have thought about developing? What? There must be something. Maybe you're the next Kentucky. Maybe you're the next Facebook. Maybe you're the next Netflix. Who knows? Or even the next Amazon. Because these were people that knew that they had potentials and that their potentials needed to be maximized. I don't know if you're following so far. Am I fast? You have any question before I continue? Pastor, you want to say something?
Yeah, well, I was just going to chip in that most successful leaders, every time, whether inside the plane, inside the train, they are being driven by their drivers, or even during lunch, you will see them with one book or the other, one magazine or the other. And what are they trying to do? They are trying to update themselves. It's either they are looking at a case study of a company that successfully went through challenging period and survived, or the one that are currently in a challenging situation, or one thing or the other. They are just continuously trying to see how they can improve themselves. So it's very, very important, continuous learning.
Extremely important. And when we say continuous learning, people actually think that it's until you get into a school. You don't necessarily have to get into a school to learn. You learn everywhere and every day.
Just as you are doing now.
Just like you're doing now. Sometimes when I see my children doing something, I go close to them, and pay attention, and I learn a lot. I learn a lot from my kids. So learning is not just lifelong, it's continuous, Like we always say, you learn, you unlearn, you relearn. There's always something new. There's always something new. There was a time they said, wheat was the best food. The best swallow. And they gave reasons why it was wheat. Then, in fact, before wheat, it was semo. Then it went to wheat. And then today now, it has left wheat to oatmeal. And from oatmeal now, the recent one is tiger nut
swallow.
Tiger nut swallow. Oh my God, how you have to grate tiger nut, put it in water and keep stirring until it forms a lump and it becomes swallow. It has a lot of fiber and is very filling. And I say, wow. I said, we just keep evolving. Okay? So for you to be a lifelong learner as a leader, you have to keep an open mind. You must have an open mind. You must have a transparent mind. You must have a positive mind, okay? So this learning gives us a lot of benefits. A lot of benefits. With learning, your personal development will be at the top notch. You find out that your life is enriched. You know, there's a way when you know something. It's like when you prepare for an exam, eh? If you're walking to the exam hall, you have swag. You have a lot of swag. But when you don't prepare for an exam, you can't even walk with your chest out and your head held high. You're like this. You're going to the exam hall as if, in fact, the world is on your shoulders.
And you'll likely be the first to rush into the hall so that you look for
somebody you can sit. Somebody you can sit beside. Kai, I remember those days. Those days, Pastor O. You know those days that you'll be copying and copying rubbish. Hey, child. In fact, people have long necks, so you'll be giraffing and copying rubbish. When you know that you have copied rubbish, is when the person that you're copying suddenly decides to tear the paper.
In fact, the person will automatically become your enemy. Why would you allow me to copy when you knew you were writing nonsense?
Right. And sometimes you're not even copying, but you're writing your generational story. You're writing, then you're raising your hand and asking for paper. Additional paper. When you know that you're writing OP out of point. And then that is one side too. Then sometimes you're there, you're still biting your biro. And then other people are asking for more paper.
Some will even ask for graph sheet. And meanwhile, you don't even know any question.
You don't even know any question that requires graph. Then you just sit down there and you'll be sweating.
And meanwhile, maybe the one that even required graph, you've written it. I thought that was your best.
There was one exam. You're very right. There was one exam I came out from. And people were just gathered discussing how they did the graph and everything. And I was like, which question?
What question are you people talking about? Is it the same exam that we just finished?
Oh my God.
Hey.
But things happen in this life. Sometimes you can even come out of an exam, think you didn't do well. Result will come out and you do so well.
Yes.
Then that one that you come out and you'll be bouncing. When your parents ask you, you say, mommy was easy. I finished it. When the result, in fact, when you get your sheet, teacher will draw your face with 2 eyes, pump, and put nose. Oh my God, we have seen something in this life. That's why when I read scriptures, I see it's not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but God that showeth mercy. I know that is true. Honestly, you remember my brother now, Pastor T, my immediate older brother. I remember once he wasn't even in school. He didn't write the exam, and then he said to us that he was praying. We thought he was joking. That he was praying that God was going to work wonders. Results came out. His name was on the list. With in fact, A.
Those that passed
with an A. My mother said, no, you must go and tell them that you did not write this exam. My brother said, no, it's a miracle. God, my mother said, no, that house will not contain us. You have to go and tell them. You have to go to school and report yourself that you didn't even take the exam. Oh my God, stories. Anyway, so we must ensure that we keep learning. Comfort, I've given you a good reason to laugh enough today.
And even
Innocent says this is the moment I've been waiting for. And that he's laughing. Yes, so even Chinaza. Life is actually so interesting. You see this life, it is meant for us to be happy. It is for us to enjoy, not endure. Find moments to be happy. Find moments to laugh. Find good. Seek good in everything. You don't see that this life is easy. It's people that make it complicated.
Yes.
Honestly. So, okay, when you actually develop yourself, personal development, you find out that you feel fulfilled. You find out that your life is enriched. You find out that your mind is engaged. Learning does good for us because it engages you. Somebody that is constantly learning, researching, reading books, going to the library, going online to, acquire knowledge, doesn't have time to sit down and your mind is working, talalan tololo, abi. Your mind cannot work talalan tololo if your mind is constantly engaged. You see, this mind, it's very curious. We have a son that is extremely intelligent. And I say to him, this is your intelligence, we must channel it somewhere. We have to channel it somewhere, otherwise it will become something else. Because he's always, curious. He's always curious. He wants it. If you give him this laptop now, he can dissect it and reformat it in 20 minutes. That's how curious and sharp he is. So we keep telling him you have to channel it towards the appropriate channel. Because for everything in life, there is good and bad. Sometimes you will hear that, there was an internet this and internet that, and somebody siphoned money from the bank and everything. There was one day that I was reading, they said it was a 7-year-old. Because our brains are wired to take on any capacity that we want them to take on. Okay, so apart from personal development, when you also learn, it helps your career advancement. Okay, because you've updated yourself with industry standards, what the competition is doing, and so on and so forth.
The trends in that industry. Acquiring new skills.
That's why you see, let me use banking for instance. That's why most times you hear that somebody was working in another bank. Then because of information, which is part of learning, they hear that there's an opening in another bank. And most times when bankers move, it's usually at another level. At a higher level. When you now have that information, you're updated on industry standards, trending issues, what is going on. That's how people know when to move. So career-wise, it helps you. If you're always listening to news, you're always scouting for information and so on and so forth. And like I said, it keeps your mind active. So your cognitive function is very alert, And when you keep learning, there's something else that happens. You don't age easily because your mind is sharp, your mind is alert. Sometimes you can be talking to my grandma. My grandma was in her 90s, but she could pick the names of my friends that visited. You tell her you're going somewhere today. When you're going somewhere the next day, she'll ask you, is it so and so place? And I used to be so, wowed that she could remember, but it was because that woman was a leader and a learner. Okay? So there are so many strategies for learning. I don't know if anyone wants to ask a question. As I'm talking, if there is any question you have, please drop it in the comments, okay? Yes. So there are so many strategies for learning. And then these strategies include, you can enroll for courses. There are online platforms. Like I said, you don't have to be in a school. There are a lot of online platforms. I really don't want to call some and not call some. If you go to Google and put online platforms for learning, you will see that is 1,000,001. There are so many. So you have online platforms, you have online universities, you have online colleges, it's a robust platform. With technology now, there is nothing we cannot achieve. I remember those days I used to travel out of the country a lot, for one training or the other, one course or the other. Now, those same, let me give an example. I actually had to travel to Canada at some point for 3 months. It was a 3 month training, you know. Just some months ago, I saw that that school that I went to for that program, it's now offering it online. So people, you don't have to spend the flight tickets, you don't have to pay for your logistics
Visa
and
and other
visa and
things,
all that, and even the accommodation and so
accommodation
on and so forth.
and feeding.
From the comfort of your home, you can have access to that same 3 months of learning easily. And maybe what you will pay will just be a token. You
And
know,
the same certificate.
and the same certificate, the world has become a global village. It has just become a global village, and everybody is gaining, everybody is enjoying. Okay, so apart from enrolling in courses, please still put in the chat box 7 for me to know that you can still see us and you can still hear me. Please put 7 in the chat box. Do I have a 7? Warisco, thank you. Shola, good to see you, Shola. Good to see you, Warisco. Good to see you,
Priscilla.
Priscilla.
Abigail.
Good to see all of you. Thank you for joining. I hope you're getting value. If you're getting value, please put 5 in the chat box.
And good to see you, Mercy.
Okay.
Udensi.
And Juliet Akbesiri.
Yes.
Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Okay, so there are so many strategies for this lifelong learning. Okay, and one of them, like Pastor O already mentioned, is reading books. Okay, so now we have a lot of literature. Before, if you wanted to read books, you had to go to a bookshop to go and buy it. Or you had to go to a physical library. But now you have online bookstores.
In your palm.
That is there. That everywhere you go, on the go. You have online bookstores. You know, you have a lot at your disposal. You have self-help books. It doesn't take anything now to just, you know, even if it's just to YouTube. If you go to YouTube and click in how to so and so, how to so and so, you know, a lot of self-help videos will just come up. You know, you must develop yourself, and you don't pay for these things. These resources are free. Okay, so you have Google, you have YouTube, you have a whole lot. You have even LinkedIn. There's LinkedIn Learning.
Okay, I'm seeing 5. Please confirm, because some said 7, some said 5.
7
if you can hear us and see us, just give us 7. Otherwise, give 5.
Maureen, we see you. Thank you for joining.
Yes.
Thank you for joining. Okay, so apart from all the books and all that, because these books actually help you to expand your perspective. You know, you can actually join online webinars, you can listen to online podcasts, and so on and so forth. And apart from, you know, the regular ebooks, you have a lot of audiobooks. These days, it's a lot easier for me to listen to my Bible in audio than to sit down and be, you know, reading the Bible. Because once I put the audio on, the audio Bible, I'm able to use my hands to be doing other things. Or like those days that you just sit with your Bible and, you know, you're right, that still has its own advantage. Conservatively, it has its own advantage because there are still some people that cannot stop, you know, underlining the particular part and everything. But audiobooks also give you the opportunity to highlight the areas of concentration. All right. So depending on what type it is, ebooks, you can be reading an ebook too, and you can highlight a place. It's just the audiobooks are just with the click of the button. Technology has just gone so far, and we know it. Okay, so you attend seminars, you attend workshops, you attend conferences. I also remember a time I had to travel to Ghana for a leadership conference, you know. But that same leadership conference today, you just sit in the confines of your bedroom or your sitting room and you connect to that same leadership conference, okay? So even before, people could say, I'm going for so, 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 and so because I want to go and network. Right now, you can network without being there physically.
Yes.
Because all these platforms just give you a networking base. Okay, for instance, there's a platform that I'm registered onto, as an author. They they have a networking uh, base for all the authors on their platform. So you put your profile there, you put your picture, every other person puts their own, and people read your profile and decide if they want to request for your friendship, and you do likewise. So it's like the physical networking, but this one is online. Okay? All right. You have to keep staying curious, because when you stay curious, you explore a lot of things, you can ask questions, and you can seek new experiences. You can even get into new hobbies. A lot of people have turned their hobbies into money making machines. Why? Because they were curious, they wanted to learn, and they learned and found out that they could turn the learning into mola. All right? Okay. Please, if you have followed so far, let me know in the comments before I proceed. I always want an engaging session so it doesn't look like I'm just talking to myself.
And if you have questions, you
There's
can
a
ask
question
questions.
here. I saw a question right now. Okay, Choma says happy marriage anniversary in advance. Thank you,
Okay, thank
Choma.
you.
You remember. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow is our anniversary.
Mhm.
Okay, so I saw Shola Babatunde asked the question. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, he said, I don't know if you can analyze this.
The thing just keeps jumping.
Analyze this for us here. You said there's a place we can be keeping our money and we be having interest on it.
There are so many places.
And there are banks where you can keep
Yes,
money and be
and
earning interest.
yes, there are so many
And
places.
there are different types of banks, so whichever one that you go to, it can help you. But when it comes to investment, there are also several investment opportunities. You can invest in shares, but you need to be guided by a stockbroker. You can invest in bonds. You also need to be
Treasury
guided
bills.
by an investment company. You can also invest in treasury
bills,
which is government securities. You need to be guided properly. So if you are just talking about interest, yes, please approach a bank and they will guide you, because there's no uniform interest rate. If you are keeping the money for 30 days and someone else is keeping that same amount for 1 year, you get different interest rates. And some banks also offer different products that may give you advantage, either tax incentive and other incentives that you may benefit from. So if you are not satisfied, then maybe we can take it off, because today is actually for leadership.
I was actually going to say that Pastor O said that during wealth creation.
And tomorrow, Tuesday, is wealth creation day.
Yes, wealth creation. So he can elaborate on that. Yes. Today is leadership. So that issue of investment came up during wealth creation. Okay. So I want to actually proceed to discuss what happens when you learn. When you apply all the learning strategies, there's something else that happens. Okay? If you learn and you do not receive feedback, it's not complete. Okay? Now, so when I was in the banking industry, there was a time I was head of leadership development. So all the trainings under leadership were in my leadership school. Okay? So if people came to learn, fellow other bankers from other departments, if they came to the academy to learn, no matter what you're teaching them, whether you're teaching them leadership or even if you're teaching them soft skills or anything, if somebody comes and learns and you don't give the person feedback, it's not complete.
You've not helped the person.
You've not helped the person. So most times, that's why when you go to school, after every session, they give you exam. That exam is the feedback. When you write that exam, then the teacher will know whether you even understood what was taught. Do you get it?
Do you know that some people are not happy with that? Because
Nobody likes exam.
Someone said that that's lack of trust. I mean, if you have taught me and you ask,
Why
did you understand?
why
I
would
say
you not
yes.
want to
Why
know
would you-
whether I
Why are you
understood
doubting me?
by setting exam?
By setting exam. You know, like come to think of it. Don't you trust me? You taught me. You asked, do you understand? I say yes.
yes.
Eh?
Then you now go and
You
sit
now
down
go
and start setting
start setting
questions to
questions.
achieve what? Pastor, you. Anyway, so we need feedback. So not just feedback, but constructive feedback. So when you give feedback, the definition of feedback is actually when what is being reverted to you is specific, actionable, and focused on improvement. Remember what I said. When it is specific, actionable, and focused on improvement. Okay? So let me give you an example. Let's say you're working in operations in a bank. Bank keeps coming to my mind because that was my last place of employment. In fact, I did 18 years and 3 months in the banking industry. I think Pastor O did 26 or 28 years. Okay? Before we both retired. So, if bank keeps coming to my mouth, you can understand.
Exactly.
Okay. So now, when you are in a particular department, your line manager sets targets for you. Remember that the bank has an overall vision, right? So there are goals, specific goals that are set. Goals for 3 months, goals for 6 months, goals for 1 year, that every department in the bank will have to achieve towards the realization of the bank's ultimate goal, which is the vision. Okay? So now, maybe you are in operations. Maybe you're in treasury operations. There's domestic operations, there's treasury operations, there's human capital, human resources, different aspects of the bank, maybe marketing. So every department would have goals set for them. And every staff will have their own key performance indicators or indices. They call it KPIs. So when you meet your KPIs, you understand, when it's time for appraisal, assessment, for your boss to give you feedback, whether you have done what was required of you and what was needful by you as a team member in contribution of the total team work, team targets. That is called KPI, key performance indicators. So you see, maybe they say, whenever you come to work, the first thing you do is to check the platform for any updates and information. So the question is, did you do it? If you did, your supervisor will tick good for you and give you the marks. Maybe everything will be over 100. Maybe, So when he ticks that good and gives you the mark, what is he doing? He's giving you feedback. Because when you get your assessments back, you will now look at it and know what it is that your supervisor thinks of your performance, right? Okay, so if you learn the same way and you have not got feedback, it's incomplete. Now, what are the benefits of feedback? The benefits of feedback is that feedback makes you self-aware. Let me give an example. Do you know that you can be carrying a bushy hair around? Nobody tells you anything you don't know.
For you,
You're comfortable with it because it's your hair. But when that babe you want to toast looks at you and says, why are you carrying about this bushy hair? All of a sudden, it's like sense returns to you.
Brain resets.
Your brain suddenly resets. And you become self-aware that, it's true, this hair that I've been carrying around is really bushy. You can even be sweating and not know that you're smelling of sweat until somebody calls your attention to it. That is feedback. So feedback helps you to become self-aware. Feedback helps you to know your strengths. Feedback helps you to know your areas of weaknesses. So as a leader, as you receive feedback, also ensure that you give feedback to your team members. That is the only way they can improve. So that feedback must be constructive in the sense that you are not attacking the person. It is not about the person. It's about the functions. It's about the activities. Did you get that?
Mm-hmm.
When you want to give feedback to anybody whatsoever, because every time we talk here, we try to let it reach everywhere. It's easier to tell your husband, whatever name you call him, that pet name you call him and say, if you do this and do this and do this, I will become a happier woman. It's constructive. Now listen to this other one. Hey, Papa Amechi, that is how you did yesterday. That's how you are always doing. You can never change. You are not a good person. Look at your head. That is, you carry insult and put on top as well. Papa Amechi can never listen to you.
Yes.
Like that woman that we watched yesterday, that talked and talked until the husband's car was stolen. There was nothing. In fact, she told him about his generations. That's not constructive. It's not constructive. That's destructive. Because it destroys. It does not construct. Now, every time you hear constructive, what is this constructive? Constructive makes you a builder. Construction. You become a builder. When you are giving feedback, give feedback that builds people. Feedback that makes people feel good. You can communicate something that is not so good to somebody, but you have communicated it to the person and the person accepts it because of the way you have couched it. Okay? So, feedback is very good because it helps the person know their strengths and their weaknesses.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
There's something here. David at GPK, he said, I just cut my hair this evening after a long time, since January. It can't be like saying that this topic, they target me.
David, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Okay, happy birthday, David.
God keep you. God bless you. God uphold you with the strength of his right arm in Jesus' name.
Amen.
So we'll still try and reach you after the program, okay?
Then Tengu Gabriel said, thanks for joining. Then Innocent said, data because of our marriage anniversary, that is giving data for 2 people, that you should select the 2 people
Innocent.
at the end of the program. And Innocent also gave data to 5 people yesterday. GB to
yes, so yesterday. Innocent. That's so thoughtful of you.
Very, very thoughtful.
Okay, there was one lady that just said now that this is her first time here. So it should be the lady And David, it's David's birthday. So it should be part of David's birthday gifting from us.
Okay.
Okay, so let it go to David at GBK, and let me find the lady that said she just joined us for the first time.
I'm seeing some names. One Tengu Gabriel. And
there's someone that I just saw it while I was talking. She said, I'm just joining for the first time. Oh, I saw it.
Okay, if you are the person, please just let us know.
There are so many chats, so to get back to that one is taking so long.
Yes.
There are so many chats. Oh my.
Please, if you just joined for the first time today, just indicate.
Innocent, help me look out for that lady that said she just joined for the first time. Okay. So she should be the one to get it. With David that it's his birthday. So it's our way of telling David happy birthday from Family Trends. Okay.
Juliet Akpesiri just laughing.
Okay. There are a lot of chats. I can't catch up. All right. Okay. So feedback helps you with performance improvements because regular feedback can lead to better performance and productivity. Remember that we talked about your supervisor, assessing you, going through your key performance indicators and giving you feedback. You that you receive the feedback, you will use it to be a better person, to perform better, so that your productivity is at an all-time high. Look at David. David just shared with us that people had been talking about his hair and he cut it today being his birthday. You see, so David has been able to use feedback, constructive feedback constructively.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so when you seek for feedback, you seek for feedback from your mentors and your supervisors, those that oversee your work, because they provide valuable insights based on their experiences. But it's also good to ask for feedback from your peers, your colleagues, because those people that are either of the same level with you or the same age with you can always give you feedback from a different perspective that is not that of a more experienced person or an older person. So always ensure that you ask for feedback from your peers. It's very important. And also ask for feedback from everyone else. Feedback is very good. And as a leader, you cannot do without feedback. So whether it's from your spouse, whether it's from your children, whether it's from your brothers, your siblings, whether it's from your parents, anyone or your colleagues, always ask for feedback. Professionally, in an organization, assessments are done either monthly, either quarterly, or yearly. But outside an organization, you can always get feedback from anyone instantly at every point in time. Okay? So how do you give feedback? I've already mentioned that you have to give feedback. Package it in such a way that it will be seasoned, so that the person that you're giving the feedback will not be offended, but the person will naturally and happily accept it, okay?
And appreciate it.
And appreciate it. So instead of saying, you also have to be specific. Instead of saying, good job, you can just say, oh, Innocent, you did a very great job yesterday by giving people GB, and today again for celebrating our anniversary coming up tomorrow by giving more people the same GB. So, Innocent, you have done well. You see, the feedback I'm giving right now is very specific. Okay? Sometimes you also have to give feedback to make sure that it's actionable, so that the person that you're giving feedback will know exactly what the issue is, so that the person can take action. You can say, Pastor O, always try to engage with people more. You are doing good, but there is room for more engagement, okay? So that is specific. than for him to just say, oh, how am I doing? I say, you're doing good. You're doing good is not exactly feedback because it is not specific. It's not giving the person opportunity to be actionable. And the next one is empathetic. At every point in time you're giving feedback, give feedback putting yourself in the person's shoes. Okay? So I can say, oh, which name will I use now? Chinaza. I can say, Chinaza, I noticed that when you were addressing the group, you were stammering. Okay? That was how I also used to stammer when I first started to address groups. Now, what have I done? I have put myself in Chinaza's shoes, and Chinaza knows, I'm not the only one. No. Oh, so there was a time Pastor Ifeoma went through that route, and that makes her more comfortable and more confident.
And you
Okay?
can also add to that by sharing how you also overcame that particular challenge. And you
Yes.
may want to now share that with her or come up with, some of the things that you can suggest that will make her improve on that. So by
Yes.
so doing, you have, giving feedback, also encourage her, be empathetic to her position, and brought up something that will help her improve.
Yeah. So you see, thank you, Pastor. Oh, thank you very much. So that was actually going to be my next statement, that you share stories so that people can see how other people have grown through feedback, and they too can apply feedback for improvement and continuous enhancement. Okay, especially in their workflow. All right. And then there is also something else. It's called adaptability. You see, like I said, learning consists of a whole lot. Like there are some people that used to use typewriter before. They're no more using typewriter. They're now using laptops. Maybe in the next 3 years, nobody will be using laptops anymore. Maybe there'll be something else, and so on and so forth. Okay, so many things keep coming up. So you have to keep improving your learning skills. Maybe today you're learning coding, maybe tomorrow you're learning digital marketing, maybe, but you always have to be on top of trends, new things that are emerging. You must stay informed, and then you have to also join professional groups. Join professional groups. There are a lot of professional groups depending on your profession, depending on what works for you. Even right here on Facebook, assuming you're making cake, there are groups for cake makers.
Yes.
Assuming you're a designer, there are groups for designers. Assuming you're a content creator, there are groups for content creators. The reason is that when you are in an environment where you have a lot in common with other people, there is no way you will not learn. Because people share how they have stumbled and how they are now making it. And you too, you also share. So it's a give and take thing, and it's very good. And then you must be open to change. Be open. If you're not open to change, you will not learn. And as you're learning, you're teaching, you're learning. As I'm teaching now, I'm the one teaching, but I've learned one or two things. Because by the time I go through these comments, there must be something that I'll take away. Okay?
Especially David's haircutting.
At least now I know that David has had a haircut, that he made use of feedback.
Abigail say only OTM students use that. Okay, which one is OTM?
Okay, so let her tell us, because
they use typewriter.
Yes, because when you tell us OTM now, we have learned something new. So you see, and for a leader, there is one key thing about learning: never hoard learning.
Yes.
Never hoard it. Never say, I know this information, I would not share it. Anytime you stop sharing information, you have become stagnant. But every time you share what you know, you learn more to join to that thing that you know.
You know, there are some organizations, well,
Mm,
not some people,
mm,
I wouldn't want to mention the industry now.
yeah.
You know, they hoard information. Some
Mm.
of them will always feel, if I teach this person now,
The
they may just,
information will just vanish.
you know, it will vanish. One, then two, maybe they will just sack me and now return the
But it
person.
doesn't work
It
like
doesn't
that.
work that way.
It doesn't work like that.
that way. You know, success without a successor is never
It's
a
not
success.
complete. It's not good
You know,
success.
it's not even a
It's not
success
good
at all.
success.
So you should always have people that you are grooming, you know, that will take over from you. Very, very important.
I remember my nephew when he was younger. He's grown now. Okay.
Mm.
So he asked the mom to spray perfume on him, which she did. And then the brother just came close to do, you smell nice. This guy just fell on the ground and wailed that the brother had smelt the whole perfume. The perfume was finished. It was gone. Oh my
Hey.
God.
Okay, Julia, say OTM means Office Technology and Management. Okay, we've learned
Okay,
something.
we've learned
again.
something. Okay,
Okay.
so you find
Mhm.
out that as far as the little boy was concerned, because that was what he knew, you know, his knowledge was limited.
Yes,
For goodness sake, in fact, that somebody is even perceiving your perfume and acknowledging it,
it's good.
it has achieved what you set out for it to achieve.
Mm.
Okay? So having said that, I think we've come to the end of what we want to share on lifelong learning today.
Mm.
If you have any key insights, any contributions, any questions, kindly drop them in the chats, in the comments, okay? And then we will respond quickly before we go.
Yes. I think I say we. Talking about the perfume and
yes. Have you gained value? Have you gained value?
Hey.
If you've gained value, drop your comments.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, talking about this anniversary tomorrow. Don't worry. Wherever it is we're going to be, we'll connect with you. So, just be open. I don't know why you're coughing.
I can't clear my throat again.
Just be open. I actually have a surprise. I have a surprise for Pastor O. So when I'm about to unveil the surprise, I would let you know. I'll connect. I'll go live. I'll tell you.
Okay. Okay. Then talking about going live. Yes, we still have our morning prayers, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and all the way up to Friday. Then we have our evening sessions. And interestingly, we have some people that we have lined up. They've accepted to come to our Facebook Live to talk to
you about
people.
Different topics.
One of them
So
is a medical doctor that owns a big hospital, and he's looking forward to connecting with you. And someone else is also connecting from US, an accomplished businessman.
Yes.
He's going to connect.
We're even going to have a commissioner of police here very soon.
Very soon. Commissioner of police
will come and talk to us about our rights as citizens.
Yes.
And what the police can do for us. A whole lot.
One, how do they call them? On-air personality.
Oh, yes. After the first one, the second one is also coming.
So we have so many things.
Look forward to exciting times on Family Trends. Exciting times, honestly.
Yes.
There is not going to be any boring moment.
Not at all.
So thank you so much, Innocent. God bless you. Your labor of love will not be in vain. In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Chioma. Chioma, you didn't come earlier. You have to replay. You have to listen to the replay so you can gain value.
And all the people that joined for the first time today, God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you for joining.
Value.
Yes. Innocent, I hope you were able to find the lady that said she joined for the first time.
Okay, we are
Help
looking
us
for the
locate her.
lady.
A lot of comments didn't let us identify her on this live.
Yes.
But it's all good. So, David, I'm going to reach you after the live. We're going to reach you after the live, okay?
Okay,
All
there's
right,
a
because
comment here from Juliet. I
we have a
remember.
token for you.
Oh, okay. So go for David.
For
Go
David,
ahead.
yes, I've told him we have a token for him. It's his birthday.
Okay. Then Juliet, I remember when my sister was learning tailoring back then. Sometimes when the madam is sewing, she will ask them to move backward so they don't learn too much.
Can you imagine? And such a person never grows.
Guy.
You know why? She doesn't have growth mindset.
Yes.
Juliet, do you know that somebody can have 1 billion in their account and not have growth mindset?
Yes.
And have poverty mindset?
Poverty mentality.
I'm telling you the truth. Poverty mentality and scarcity mindset.
You know, people don't even realize that everything evolves.
Everything evolves.
You can imagine somebody that, that time of Roger, call me for 01 over. That radio, that you have to wait for the person to now say, Roger received over. And you will now, remove the ball. So you can imagine somebody that had that knowledge and didn't want to share. Today, you have need of that knowledge.
Of Roger.
No.
You see, Juliet, let me tell you what that woman doesn't know. In teaching, people will be asking her questions that she may not have immediate answer to, that will warrant her going to research. And in researching, she will learn more. Just cyclic.
And become a better
tailor. Yes. She doesn't know that. And even when you're teaching, sometimes, the Spirit of God will just, in what you're teaching, teach you, grant you utterance that you didn't even know was there. Because every individual has residual knowledge. So in teaching, you're bringing the knowledge out. You're bringing the knowledge out. So it's not good to hoard knowledge. You cannot be a leader and hoard knowledge. Okay?
And you know what? You are a leader.
And you are a leader.
You listening to
You
us.
listening to us. You are a leader.
Because many a times when we just be talking about leaders, they are looking up.
Yes, it's you we're talking about. It's you. It's you.
Okay. Innocent said that he has asked them to DM him for the
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so thank you everyone. No questions, right? I guess we can.
Yes.
No questions, right? So actually, I think for tomorrow, I think I'm working it out. I think for tomorrow, we may just go live a bit earlier. I think for tomorrow, for this anniversary, just something that I'm working out. Yes, I haven't even carried him along. But I think I should mention that we may have to go live around 7 p.m. tomorrow instead of 9. So please look out for it. Look out for our going live around 7.
Okay. I need to check my bank balances. David said, you just mentioned something about residual knowledge.
Yes, I did.
Yes. Is there something else you want to know about residual knowledge?
Residual knowledge, it's knowledge that you have on the inside of you. And sometimes when you're teaching people, you find out that haven't you ever tried teaching somebody something? And you found out that you even knew it more than you thought you did. Because you have residual knowledge that teaching is enhancing. That's it.
But not like when you are finding S. They've been looking, mathematicians, they've been finding S. I don't know if they have found it.
Pastor O has come with another perspective.
Find
those
X, find X.
Have they even found X?
They are still looking for it.
They're still looking for X.
Yes, now.
David, you know if they found X? Because maths teachers will just enter the class
and just tell you this and that.
If they're not looking for X, they're looking for Y. I don't know when they're going. Innocent, have they found X and Y?
All right. So on that note,
So I don't think there's any more questions. We'll see you around 7
let me say,
tomorrow.
I want to believe I've seen that quite much in me. Sometimes I find that I know more than I thought I knew.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, because you have knowledge deposited inside of you by God.
Yeah. All right. Innocent is laughing. Say that you. They are looking for the
Innocent,
X.
have you found
They are
the
yet
X?
to find it.
Innocent has found the X in Boko.
Julia said X and Y can never be found. And yet they keep telling us to find them.
And that thing is not good. They know that X and Y can never be found. And yes, every time find X, find
Y.
Find Y.
Okay, so on that note, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
We'll see you tomorrow morning, and then we'll see you tomorrow evening around 7. I'm going to have to brief him. Okay? So take care. Bye-bye. God bless you.